Parents did everything for the lazy golden sister. I achieved everything myself, and they secretly took out a $180,000 loan they regretted. I never imagined I'd be sitting here still reeling from my parents' actions, writing a piece like this. My name is John, and I am 32 years old. My sister Lisa is 24 years old and a recent college graduate. Our parents' parenting style has always been, shall we say, unconventional, but this most recent antics have really irritated me. For background, I come from a long line of responsible people in my family. After putting in a lot of time and effort in college, I was able to get a scholarship and get a solid position in finance. I'm proud of my accomplishments, which include becoming financially independent since the age of 26. In contrast, Lisa has always been considered the little sister. I adore my sister, but I can't help but feel that our parents have been too kind to her. Lisa was always the favorite when I was a kid. Nobody ever asked her to obtain a part-time job or help out around the home, but she always received the cutest clothing and coolest electronics. Even though I made an effort to keep my mind on my own aspirations and future, I couldn't always shake the feeling that someone was looking out for me. There was this one time when Lisa was 12 and I was 18. Months of saving had culminated in my plan to purchase a new gaming system. After saving up enough money, I enthusiastically informed my folks that I was going shopping for it. Surprisingly, they informed me, "Oh, we already bought one for Lisa last week. You can share hers." Despite my sadness, I forced myself to be glad for my sister. In the current day, Lisa has just completed her degree in communications. She had earned this reward for all her hard work, and I couldn't be prouder of her. She had been considering a new laptop, so I sent it to her as a thoughtful graduation present. My mom called me last week. I could feel her enthusiasm as she filled me in on the details of their elaborate plan to surprise Lisa with a month-long trip of Asia as a graduation present. As a nice child, I was overjoyed for Lisa and thought our parents were being quite generous until they dropped the bombshell. "We used your credit card to book it all," my mom remarked, in a tone that betrayed no emotion whatsoever. "We'll pay you back, of course, but we needed the points from your card to upgrade some of the flights and hotels." I couldn't speak. The news seemed so unbelievable to me. I inquired as to the total amount paid when I'd finally regained my voice. A figure of $180,000 hit me like a blow in the belly when I heard the response. My credit card was charged $180,000 without my knowledge or permission. Attempting to maintain my composure, I spoke up to my mom and said, "You can use my credit card without asking me. That's illegal, and $180,000 is a lot of money." However, she disregarded my worries. "Oh, don't be so dramatic, John. It's for your sister's graduation. We are family, and family helps each other out. Besides, we're good for it. We'll pay you back eventually." In the end, how was it even meaningful? When did $180,000 become something to joke about? I attempted to tell my mom about the consequences on my credit score, how I may use the limit for unexpected expenses, and the breach of trust, but she just wasn't getting it. "You've always been so self-centered," she said, her voice becoming distant. "Why didn't you celebrate with your sister? This is her big moment, and you're attempting to derail it with your frugal ways." I was taken aback by what I heard. Someone said I was being self-centered because I was furious over a $180,000 transaction that hadn't been approved on my credit card. A combination of wrath, hurt, and bewilderment overwhelmed me as I terminated the conversation. In the days that followed, I reached out to my dad in the hopes that he would be more understanding, but he reiterated what my mom had said, accusing me of being too emotional and ordering me to be there for my sister more. Lisa, on the other hand, seemed completely unaware of what was happening. I attempted to broach the subject with her, but all she did was brag about the trip and express her gratitude that I had helped fund her graduation present. I thought I was losing my mind. Had I really been the one being unreasonable? After deciding to contact the credit card company in question about the charges, I was horrified to learn that my parents had used my card information. For online bookings in case of crises, they had them. It wasn't fraud, according to the credit card company, as I had already provided them with my credentials. My family views my decision not to pay for my sister's expensive trip as selfish, and now I'm left with a $180,000 debt, a maxed-out credit card, and no family to help. Those who are meant to love and support me have deceived me, and I am wounded, furious, and feeling belittled. The next step is unclear to me. I wish I could just cancel the entire vacation, but I'm afraid it would drive a wedge amongst my family. In contrast to the part of me that wants to simply pay it off and end the drama, the principle of the thing really annoys me, and $180,000 is a lot of money. Also, I'm afraid that if I ignore this, it may pave the way for more financial exploitation in the future. Is my reaction excessive? Should I give in and cover my sister's trip costs, or should I be firm regardless of the cost to our relationship? Help! I am completely confused and could use some guidance. Your encouraging words and suggestions are much appreciated. The level of reaction to my piece astounded me. I felt validated in my feelings of being violated and enraged after reading your remarks. I choose to act upon your counsel. My first step was to contact my credit card provider once again and report the problem as urgent. I gave a detailed account of what had happened, stressing that while my parents kept my credit card information on file in case of emergencies, I had never given my consent for this particular usage. They finally settled on looking into the allegations as possible fraud after some back and forth. After that, I arranged a family Zoom call with my parents and Lisa by sending a group SMS. Before resorting to more extreme actions, I wanted to give them an opportunity to fix this. To put it mildly, the call was heated. I began by reassuring them that their behavior was unacceptable and outlining the many ways in which it affected me financially, legally, and emotionally. They needed to cancel the trip immediately, I informed them, as I had denounced the charges as false. The response from my parents was disappointing. They thought I was being over the top and out to derail Lisa's graduation party, so they were rather angry with me. My mom explained it this way: we raised you, clothed you, and put a roof over your head. The least you could do is help give your sister the trip of a lifetime. I drew a deep breath and responded, you chose to have children. Providing for us was your responsibility as parents. It doesn't mean you get to commit credit card fraud in my name. At this point, Lisa, who had been silent up until this point, started crying. I can believe you're trying to ruin my graduation gift, she began to cry. You've always been jealous of me. Why can't you just be happy for me for once? Even while her comments hurt, they made me more determined. It was time for me to establish clear limits when I saw the pervasiveness of this pattern of partiality and entitlement. Lisa, I continued in a tone that was both compassionate and assertive, I want you to know that I am happy for you and proud of your graduation. But this trip was planned using my money without my consent. It's not a gift from me, and it's not okay. At this point, my normally reserved dad broke his silence. Son, we didn't think it was such a big deal. We've always had access to your card for emergencies. We just thought, as family, it would be okay this one time. The news seemed so unbelievable to me. At the conclusion of the conversation, my parents were furious. Lisa was in tears, and I felt exhausted but determined after all. $180,000 isn't a little sum, and this wasn't an emergency. They said I was being too dramatic and that they would reimburse me shortly, so they wouldn't budge from their decision to cancel the trip. I moved forward after the call. My buddy, who is an attorney, was called, and I described everything to him. He told me that my parents' actions were unlawful and that I might seek redress via the courts if I so desired. The fraudulent usage of my credit card prompted me to report the incident to the local police station. I had a compassionate interaction with an officer who meticulously recorded all the facts. While he did tell me that pressing charges would probably split my family apart, he also told me that it was well within my rights to do so. What should I do next? I still haven't decided. Taking legal action against my family sickens me since I love them so much. However, I am concerned that similar actions may be taken in the future unless I speak out strongly against their inappropriate conduct right now. I will wait to hear the outcome of the credit card company's inquiry for the time being. In addition, I have taken the precaution of freezing my credit in order to stop any other fraudulent activity. Because of all that has happened, I know that I need to set clearer limits with my loved ones. I have always been the one that tries to diffuse conflicts and make everyone happy, but I've been the one who gets taken advantage of time and time again because of this trait. Despite my pain, anger, and bizarre feelings of strength, I am also feeling powerful. This is the first time I've ever stood up to someone and said, no, it is not okay. It's unsettling and terrifying, but it seems essential. Your encouragement and wise counsel are much appreciated. If anything new happens with my family or the credit card probe, I will notify you again as soon as I hear anything. A lot has transpired in the 2 weeks since I last provided an update. Please accept my sincere appreciation for all of your help and guidance. Your words of encouragement have helped me get through this tough period. Firstly, I have excellent news. The investigation by the credit card company was successful. They finally came to terms with the fact that the allegations were unwarranted and got rid of them. That $180,000 weight is now off my shoulders, and it's a tremendous relief. The consequences for the family are about to be revealed. I think chaos ensued when Lisa and my parents learned that the vacation had been canceled because of the credit card dispute. An overwhelming number of furious calls and messages reached my phone. In one especially harsh message, my mom accused me of being an ungrateful, self-centered son and said that I was to blame for Lisa's downfall. Lisa vented her frustrations on social media, sharing a heartbreaking video of her ideal graduation trip, ruined by her wicked brother. My younger sister's extended relatives and friends began contacting me, inquiring as to why I was treating her so badly. Things were spiraling out of control, so I decided to clarify things. In a level-headed and truthful article, I detailed what had transpired, how someone had used my card without my knowledge or consent, and my attempts to discuss the matter with my loved ones before contacting the credit card company. My post received a range of reactions. Some were understanding and even shocked by my parents' behavior. Some others still thought I should have gone along with the group and given Lisa the vacation. The number of individuals who believed it was okay to deceive relatives was shocking. A call from my mom's sister surprised me a few days after my article. She understood my predicament and filled me in on some family history that I had no idea about. Evidently, my mom's financial carelessness extended to taking advantage of relatives. I was urged by my aunt to maintain my position, and she extended her support. After having this discussion, I understood that there was more to the problem than this one occurrence. For years, people have allowed and even condoned this pattern of conduct. At that moment, I realized that in order to end this pattern of financial abuse, it was imperative that I set and stick to clear limits. I chose to do something bold. I informed my folks that I would not be getting in touch with them for a while. I told them I couldn't trust them at the moment, and that I wanted space to think about what had occurred. While I loved and admired Lisa for all that she had accomplished, I also let her know that I needed time and space to myself. Their responses were, as expected, unfavorable. My folks said I was the one who was driving a wedge between us. Lisa sobbed and accused me of punishing her for an unfair situation. Despite the difficulty, I was resolute in my choice. Keeping myself safe from financial abuse in the future has been my top priority amongst this family turmoil. I have disconnected the credit card that my parents were able to use and established a new one with a different bank. I have also changed all of my passwords. In addition, I've begun therapy sessions in an effort to process my emotions over the issue and establish more appropriate limits for myself. My aunt and a few of cousins and I have become closer as a result of this entire mess, which is one pleasant surprise. They extended a helping hand. It's comforting to know that my parents' actions were not universally approved of by my extended relatives. My parents are reportedly still debating where to send Lisa on her graduation vacation, according to rumors circulating within the family. I keep telling myself that it wasn't my job to make sure she went on the Asia trip, but there is a part of me that feels bad about her not going. Guilt and uncertainty are still with me. At times, I question if I was too strict and whether it was the correct decision. I question if I was correct to stand up for myself, but then I recall the sense of violation I got upon learning of their actions. This has been a rude awakening, but it has also taught me the importance of respecting myself and my limits. It's okay to say no, even to loved ones, because love isn't something you have to pay for. Your support is much appreciated. I'm now focused on recovering and moving on, but I will provide an update if there are any important changes. I wanted to let you all know about some advancements, since my previous report was roughly 4 months ago. Your unwavering encouragement and wise counsel have been priceless during this difficult period. Let me start with the most important part, the legal status. I chose not to bring charges against my parents after consulting with my lawyer and giving it a lot of thought. Many of you suggested that I pursue legal action, and I must admit that it was not an easy choice to make. but my attorney warned that pursuing a criminal case would be difficult, expensive, and risky, and there was no assurance of victory since the credit card company had rolled back the charges. Alternatively, we have formally warned my parents in a cease and desist letter that they will face swift legal action if they seek to utilize my bank information again. The subject of the family now follows. It has been difficult and educational to be apart from my parents and Lisa at this time. As a result, I've had more time to think about the relationships in our family and how I may improve myself. Regular therapy sessions have helped me tremendously in working through my feelings and establishing better boundaries in my life. Lisa sent me an unexpected email about 2 months into our no-contact period. This email showed an admirable level of maturity, in contrast to her earlier accusatory ones. After much contemplation, she came to the realization that our parents' conduct were completely incorrect. She admitted that she was wrong and that she should have defended me. Lisa said that she had been aware of the bias for a long time, but had been too timid or comfortable to do something about it. Despite my cautious optimism in response to Lisa's email, I resolved to proceed at a leisurely pace. I can tell she's making an honest effort to put herself in my shoes during our many subsequent phone talks. She finally spoke out about her own experiences with our parents' careless spending. Like everyone else, she apparently got a rude awakening from the postponed Asia trip. My parents, on the other hand, have shown less initiative in taking charge. Angry voicemails and guilt-tripping emails are only 2 of the ways they've tried to get in touch with me. One day, my mom even came up at my apartment without warning, making a big deal in the hallway. Refusing to participate was tough, but essential, so I maintained my position. Things have become complicated inside the extended family. Several members of my family have been encouraging, especially my aunt, who was the one who first contacted me. She has grown into an invaluable support system and ally. Others, nevertheless, insist that I make amends with my parents by bringing up the same old, but they are family excuse. For the sake of my mental health, I have cut ties with a few of these family. Fortunately, I have grown in ways I never imagined possible because of this experience. I have more mental and emotional capacity to concentrate on my own life and aspirations now that I am no longer consumed by the turmoil in my family. I've been spending more time with people who understand and respect my limits, and I've also started a new hobby, photography. Important choices about my finances have also been made by me. I've begun putting more money away for emergencies and have boosted my payments to retirement plans. The significance of having one's own means of support and stability has been hammered home by this entire ordeal. Last week, there was a moment that was very fulfilling. Thanks to a promotion at work, I was able to increase my salary significantly. I may have felt pressured to tell my family about this development and the money rewards in the past. Without feeling guilty or pressured to share, I discreetly celebrated with a small group of close friends, pleased of my successes. From what I understand via my aunt, our parents ultimately decided to send Lisa on a 2-week tour of Texas as her graduation vacation. It seems like Lisa had fun with it. I am cautiously hopeful about the future. I have chosen to keep my parents out of my life for another 6 months longer than originally planned. I need more space to recover and determine if they can honor my limits. My heart is open to mending fences with Lisa, and I want to do so cautiously while setting and sticking to firm limits. Limits, self-defense, and the value of family have all been profoundly illuminated by this ordeal. Family, I've come to understand, is about more than simply genetic ties. It's also about love, support, and respect for one another. Those loved ones and acquaintances who have stuck with me through thick and thin have showed me the meaning of family. A lesson of being financially independent has also been imparted to me. I've never been careless with money, but I am being more careful now because of this. I've been more aggressive about safeguarding my financial information, even from relatives, and have installed extra security measures on all of my accounts. Because of the no-contact policy, I have missed out on several family occasions, and that has left me feeling sad and confused at times. Even though I had a rough Christmas and New Year's, I tell myself that I need to go away from it all for my own mental health and development. Unexpectedly, this ordeal has made me a go-to guy for friends who are struggling with family money problems. My advice on coping with financially irresponsible relatives and establishing boundaries has been sought for by many. Being able to guide others through similar difficulties is a great feeling. I have heard from my aunt that my parents are having a hard time making ends meet. Evidently, They intended to charge more than simply Lisa's vacation to my credit. My parents have argued because of this, with my dad accusing my mom of being too aggressive about the credit card theft. Knowing they are experiencing money problems makes me feel bad, but then I tell myself that I can repair their bad financial choices. Insights on how our parents are coping with everything have been offered by Lisa. According to her, they are still confused at my extreme reaction. To them, what they are doing is as if it were nothing out of the ordinary, and they fail to understand why I am agitated about it. Even if it's annoying, this silence confirms that I was correct to put some distance between us. After much introspection, I've come to terms with the normalization of patterns of financial and emotional exploitation during my formative years and early adulthood. Although it has been a freeing journey, it has also been difficult. My parents' approval isn't necessary for me to legitimize my emotions and experiences. I am discovering that. Regarding my private life, I have resumed dating. I just found someone who has been very sympathetic to my predicament before. I was afraid to get connected with anybody because of all the family turmoil. It's exciting to be forming a bond with someone who appreciates and respects my limits, even if it's early on. Some major adjustments in my life are also being considered. For a long time, I put off getting my Master's degree because I was worried about how it would affect my capacity to support my family financially. Now, I regret it. Right now, I am giving serious consideration to enrolling in programs. Being able to put my future and well-being first while making choices is liberating. The amount of change that has occurred in the last few months is staggering to me as I type this update. A feeling of composed resolve has taken the place of the first outbursts of rage and horror. No longer am I a passive observer of my family's behavior. Instead, I'm actively creating the future I see for myself. If you or someone you know is going through anything similar at home, please know that things will get better. Remain firm when setting limits. Doing so may be difficult and lead to pushback. Your mental health, your money, and yourself are all things you should be able to safeguard. Again, I appreciate everyone's help along the way. Your words of wisdom and support have been an absolute godsend. Regardless of what happens to my bond with my family, I will be okay. I just don't know what the future holds. I am more confident in myself, stronger, and prepared to take on whatever that comes my way now. I will provide another update in the event that anything noteworthy occurs, but at this time my attention is only on progressing toward my goals and creating the life I see for myself, with the encouragement and respect of those around me. Here is to fresh starts and the knowledge that comes with experience. After 6 months of silence, I thought it was high time to fill you in on what's been happening with the trip thus far, and thank you all for your unwavering support. First, the most important thing, I've gotten into a Master's program in a city that is roughly 5 hours away from my present residence. My professional aspirations are well suited to the 2-year financial technology program. I am both looking forward to and anxious about starting this new chapter of my life this autumn. Choosing to get this degree was a challenging choice. Taking out school debts, relocating to a new place, and quitting my work are all part of the plan. On the other hand, it's a long-awaited opportunity to put money into my future self. Because I was so concerned with the consequences for my loved ones, I had been stifling my own growth. It is so freeing to finally be able to make decisions according to my own self-interest. Unexpected developments have occurred in my family scenario. 2 months ago, my parents and I formally terminated our no-contact period. A professional therapist mediated a family therapy session, and I consented. It stung like hell. Still certain that they were innocent, my folks became defensive and came in. However, several unexpected facts emerged as the discussion continued. Unbeknownst to everyone, including my mom, my dad had secretly lost a substantial sum of money in a poor investment. My credit card was seen as a tool for them to keep up appearances as they quietly struggled financially for months. There were many tears and accusations because of this discovery. My father's concealment hurt my mother. My parents seemed to finally grasp the seriousness of their actions against me, and my dad felt terrible about his bad financial choices. This doesn't make their bad actions any more acceptable, but it did shed light on the desperation that drove them. With the therapist's assistance, we were able to address some of these concerns, and I was surprised to hear my parents' sincere apologies for the first time. It has been decided that monthly family therapy sessions will be maintained. It's going to take time, and I am still setting clear limits, but I am cautiously enthusiastic about getting back together with you. growth, and maturity have been ongoing traits shown by Lisa. By obtaining a full-time job and relocating to her own apartment, she has made strides toward achieving financial independence. Thanks to our increased communication, I feel like I am finally starting to know my sister in her mature form. Our relationship has progressed to a new level since she has sought my guidance on conserving money and creating a budget. Personally, the connection I spoke about in my last post has blossomed into something extraordinary. Emma has been very understanding and encouraging of my desire to return to school, even if it will put us apart for a spell. She is an excellent listener and helpful guide, since she's been through the process of establishing limits with her own family. I am in a solid financial position. I was able to put a good chunk of money aside for my relocation and graduate school, thanks to the promotion I got. My stance on the need of keeping my financial information secure has likewise changed significantly. A long-lost cousin tried to blackmail me into co-signing a debt not long ago, but I had to put a stop to it. It felt nice to set limits and stick to them, even if it was difficult. Much has transpired after that first startling phone call from my mom about the credit card charges, and I've been thinking about it as I get ready to start this next phase of my life. My first feelings of anguish and rage have mostly faded, and I'm now filled with a confidence and strength I did not know I had. Thanks to this experience, I've learned a lot. Boundaries are important in all relationships, but particularly with loved ones, and I've learnt it the hard way. Putting my own health and future ahead of everyone else's is okay, I've realized. True family, whether biological or chosen, encourages personal development and acknowledges personal limits, as I've come to understand. My deepest gratitude goes out to everyone who has stuck with me and provided encouragement and wise counsel. Throughout these trying times, your words have brought me courage and understanding. Anyone going through anything similar at home should know that they can overcome adversity and emerge from it better off than before. I haven't felt this excited or hopeful in years as I get ready to leave my apartment and embark on this new journey. I am filled with pride at my progress so far and eagerly anticipate the challenges that lie ahead. Due to the upcoming relocation and start of school, I may not be able to post for a time nonetheless. I will be eternally thankful to everyone who has helped me along the road. Cheers to starting again, gaining knowledge the hard way, and having the guts to make our dreams a reality.